A new report shows that more young people will continue to die due to an ongoing mental health crisis.
It says young people are dying at a higher rate than in the last decade. Medical reporter Liz Bonus looks at what's driving up the numbers.
Hey there, everybody. This new report says the death rates in Americans ages 1 to 19 climbing, and some of what's driving up the numbers is partly preventable. Those who work with young people say there are a number of reasons, especially the rise in mental health concerns.
We see a lot more depression and anxiety coming in that wonder what's happening in the world and how is it going to affect me.
At this Ohio celebration of mental health employees, Kimberly Magis says if we don't get young people the help they need.
I was depressed with no motivation for anything and suicidal.
They will turn to everything from substance use to suicide, which is part of what's driving this dangerous trend. The Journal of the American Medical Association recently released this report. It's based on CDC data from 2019 to 2021. Death rates in young people rose nearly 11% the first year and more than 8% on top of that the year after. Contributing to these deaths, traffic accidents, homicides, suicides, drug and alcohol poisoning, and COVID-19, which also did heighten the need for mental health help.
I think the pandemic put a microscope on challenges that were already existing, and it just brought it into everyone's mind even more. I think in a way none of us were able to escape mental health during that pandemic, those years. So what we see these days are a lot of trauma, there's a lot of family systems challenges, depression, anxiety rates are rising, and suicidality is a major challenge for teenagers, especially right now.
Therapist Anthony Pantano, who you just heard from there, reminds us that if a young person is talking about suicide, ask them if they have a plan. It may be the only way you can find out specific steps to interrupt and help prevent it.
Smartphones are making teens hallucinate, detach from reality, and more aggressive, according to a Sapien Lab study. Emma Withrow for the Fact Check team joins us, and I understand that there were differences between what younger teens experienced versus older Gen Zers. What's behind that?
Definitely. So the study, they interviewed 10,500 teenagers. 13-year-olds experienced more aggression, hallucinations, and anger compared to 17-year-olds. The report also noted the differences are based on younger teens getting a smartphone at 10, which is obviously a younger age and also a lot more damaging to their mental health. So most of those older Gen Zers got a smartphone a few years later, around 11 or 12, which seemed to make a difference there.
Always a popular topic among parents when to get that phone for the kids. There are also differences when it comes to gender?
There are, yeah. So overall, 65% of females were deemed distressed or struggling, and only 48% of males. So definitely a difference there.
Do any other studies back that research up?
So back in 2013, the CDC released data that shows teen girls are experiencing record high levels of violence, sadness, and suicide risk. That same year, there was a Surgeon General advisory showing kids who spend more than 3 hours a day on social media, they face double the risk of experiencing poor mental health outcomes like depression and anxiety.
Emma, thank you. Emma will be back in a few minutes to discuss what leaders are doing to address kids' online safety.
Smoking does cause cancer. However, according to a new study done by World Health Organization's Cancer Agency, says lung cancer diagnoses worldwide are on the rise among people who have never smoked. This despite a decline in smoking in many countries like the UK and the US. The World Health Organization's Cancer Agency, the IARC, found that air pollution is an important factor contributing to lung cancer. Now, according to experts, research shows need for further studies into air pollution and other causal factors. And not just that, according to the International Agency for Research on Cancer, lung cancer in people who have never smoked cigarettes or tobacco is now estimated to be the 5th highest cause of cancer deaths worldwide. The IARC also said lung cancer is never smokers or lung cancer in never smokers is also occurring almost exclusively, and adenocarcinoma, which is the diagnosis for lung cancer, accounts for as much as 70% of lung cancer cases among non-smokers. I hope you got that. The study also found that of the 4 main subtypes of lung cancer, adenocarcinoma has become the dominant subtype among both men and women. The study, published in the Lancet Respiratory Medicine Journal, found that in 2022, about 200,000 cases of adenocarcinoma were associated with exposure to air pollution. Adenocarcinoma accounted for 45.6% of global lung cancer cases among men and 59.7% of global lung cancer cases among women in 2022. The respective figures were 39% and 57.1% in 2020. Additionally, the largest burden of adenocarcinoma attributable to air pollution was found in East Asia, particularly China. While lung cancer incidence rates for men have generally decreased in most countries during the past 40 years, rates among women have tended to continue to rise. Current trends suggest that while men still make up most lung cancer cases, about 1.6 million in 2022, the gap between lung cancer incidences or incidents in males and females is narrowing. With about 900,000 women diagnosed with lung cancer in 2022, lung cancer remains the leading cause of cancer incidents and mortality worldwide. In 2022, about 2.5 million people were diagnosed with the disease, but the patterns of incidents by subtypes have changed dramatically in recent decades.
If you have some Kirkland Signature smoked salmon in your refrigerator, don't eat it. The Food and Drug Administration has classified the Listeria-tainted product as a Class 1 recall. Officials say people who are exposed to this fish are likely to suffer serious health problems. Listeria infection is responsible for roughly 260 deaths per year, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The FDA has said no related illnesses have been reported. The recalled salmon from Acme Smoked Fish Corporation was sent to stores in the Southeast late last year. More information is available on the FDA's website.
Consumer alert: the FDA is warning that recalled broccoli sold at Walmart could be potentially dangerous or deadly. Back in late December, Braga Fresh recalled 12-ounce bags of ready-to-eat market-side broccoli over concerns of possible Listeria contamination. Now the FDA has urged and upgraded the recall to a Class 1, meaning there's a serious risk of adverse health consequences or death linked to the product. If you have any of these, obviously throw them away.
Dozens of birds are washing up right along Lake Michigan's shore. They are killed by what appears to be the bird flu.
And calls have been coming into the Wisconsin and Illinois Department of Natural Resources reporting mergansers, a species of ducks, dead on beaches. Investigative reporter James Stratton tonight with the widespread report spanning 90 miles along Lake Michigan.
Video from the Chicago shoreline over the weekend shows dozens of dead birds washed ashore. The common and red-breasted mergansers wintering in Lake Michigan died of suspected bird flu, according to Illinois DNR and the group Chicago Bird Collision Monitor.
Showing all the symptoms of avian influenza, the shaking head, the tremors, the circling behavior, being unstable, unable to stand up or fly.
Annette Prince leads the group that found roughly 100 dead and sick birds along the Chicago lakefront over the weekend.
These mergansers are beautiful, and we're seeing them washed up, in large numbers, and it's a sad thing to watch.
The reports spanning 90 miles north into Wisconsin. Wisconsin DNR tells 12 News they're beginning to receive reports of sick and dead mergansers, taking one in for testing. 12 News photographer Nathan Rybakovich found one dead merganser at Kenosha's Simmons Island Beach, another at Racine's North Beach. The Wisconsin Humane Society has taken in 7 mergansers since last Thursday, suspicious for bird flu, all discovered near the lake. DNR officials warn not to pick up a dead or sick bird and, due to the risk of infection, keep pets away from carcasses of birds that may have been killed by bird flu.
I think people should be aware of this happening and keep an eye out, because we do share the same bird life and habitat.
Along Lake Michigan, James Stratton, WISN 12 News.